Okie dokie dokie dokes. So, it's funny when you press record, how you just hit a blank. You've got all these things in your mind and how you'd like to put it out and what you want to do and so on. And then the minute you press record, it's like boom, like ish. You go blank. And that's why probably you'd want to prepare things in a certain way, have your notes down and whatever. But the whole point of it all is not knowing. I don't know what to do next. So what do I do? Well, just start and you figure it out and things will come to you and you'll start to realize, hey, no, that doesn't work. This works better. But you have to start, and the reason why I thought, okay, let me make this video. It's literally me just saying, okay, well, let me just start, and I was toying with this idea for a while. I want to record and document, journal my journey, and where I'm at, and one day hopefully look back and say, yo, yeah, I can actually see where it's coming from. It's kind of like in the Bible, when you're going through like ebbs and flows, you're going through those dips, and sometimes you need to remind yourself where you come from. I mean, the Bible says, count your blessings and name them, so that you can remind you what God has done in your life, and why do you need to remind yourself? Because it's there to build your faith, to remind you, because we forget so quickly. Once we've achieved something, we literally just walk right past what it took to get to that point. And we need to remind ourselves, and we need to start with the small wins, and the small wins start with small steps, and you don't know if you're taking the right step, you don't know, but take the step, because either which way, if you're taking the wrong step, you'll know quite sooner than just being on the fence about it. Should I, shouldn't I, must I do this, mustn't I do this, and so on. And the whole point of everything, and is in life, is to just get started. And where do I start? Well, I would suggest, start with you. Start with you, and I'll explain a little bit more as we go further into this video. But I'll explain why I'm saying that. And let me give you a quick background. Right. So I'm 38 years old. I've got 4 kids. And the reason I'm saying 3 kids, I have 4 kids. One is not my own, but it's my own. But any which way, so I'm a dad, right? My oldest is going to be 18 soon, and the youngest one is 4. So quite a broad spectrum of ages. But there's a lot of things I've learned throughout these years of being a father, being a parent, and when you start seeing, hey, each child is unique in their own way. They all have their own interests. There's similarities here and there, but each child has got their own interest. They all want different things, and you'll see. You give a child a phone, take the Wi-Fi away, and you tell them, hey, listen, you've only got so much time, or maybe we're going into a place where there's no network, so you'll say, hey, listen, you better, if you want to watch something, you better download it, because there'll be no network, and then you're going to have a look at their downloads and see what their downloads are all about, and you'll start to get an idea of where their child's interest is at, and take for example one of my boys. He's crazy about FC Mobile. It's a mobile football game, and he is so crazy about this game. Crazy. He's watching reviews. He's watching ways how guys play this thing. He's playing it. That's all that he talks about, day in, day out, day in, day out. Then I've got another boykie of mine, and he wants to be a soccer player. You check on his downloads, he's watching these cartoon things, Super Striker, everything is Ronaldo. He's playing with that soccer ball day in, day out. He's on the pitch, he wants this type of soccer talks. He's that's where he's at, you know. And it makes me think, sometimes we look at ourselves and we look at, yeah, I would have been a doctor, but there was no finances at home. Or who knows, maybe you could have been an equestrian horse rider, but you've never had the exposure to it. You've never even thought of it. Nobody has ever introduced it to you. And I think when you come from a background where, majority of the time is you need to go to school, you need to do this, you need to do that, and after that you go to university, and you know, that linear approach to life. And lack of exposure is something that probably keeps us away from actually exploring and achieving things. I mean, I say, okay, you need to look at things that you enjoy doing, right? Things that you like doing, because then it'll never feel like a job, and say, okay, well, I don't even know what I like doing. That's already something telling you, okay, well, I got some homework. I need to do some introspection. I need to see, what is it that I enjoy doing. What would I be open to getting to know? And if I'm not open, why am I not open? What has caused me to block out certain things? And there's a lot of introspection that takes place, and I think we'll talk about that in a few upcoming videos and so on. But the main thing is like, okay, fine. You may be, I mean, let's take Ronaldo, for example. If he was never exposed to football and he was exposed to, I don't know, doing admin, that's all that he knew. He's robbing himself, he's robbing the world, he's robbing everyone of the opportunity to have gotten to know the Ronaldo that we know now, right? And would it be actually, would it be his, what do you call it? Would it be his fault that he didn't know? Because he's never been exposed to it, and you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you would like, what you don't like, what would work out best for you. You don't know these things, but you have to start somewhere. And most of the time, we end up going into a field, like take for myself, for example. When I finished school, I had so many big dreams and so many things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a musician, I wanted to be famous, I wanted to, I mean, as a teenager, you're growing up, there's multiple things that come across your mind. And some people are fortunate, when they're like 5 years old, 6 years old, they already know that this is what I want to be, And if you're not exposed to certain things, you don't know. And that's why I say, okay, well, if you never had the opportunity growing up to be exposed to certain things, right? You've got kids. You need to expose them to as many things. Take your child for hockey, take them for karate, take them for football, take them for tennis, take them for basketball, if they are athletic, sometimes you don't even know the skills that your child has. The other one, this one is like, should be an IT guru of some sort, but you need to expose them, and that's your opportunity or responsibility to actually open those avenues for your kids. I mean, if I say, okay, I want to be a musician. When I grew up, there's no internet. Internet came out later on and whatever. It was very expensive. And I want to be a musician. When I was 15 years old, I started in a hip-hop group. And this is maybe 20 years back, if not longer than that. And yeah, like before that, I was already, I was maybe 3-4 years old, and I was always tapping on things, I don't know, it just came naturally. I would hear sounds and try and imitate it. And that's how I love drums. I loved playing drums and so on. But when I got to 15, I was never even exposed to music in the way that I wish I was, but anyway, long story short, I was a musician Um, or I wanted to be a rapper. So got onto stage. A friend of mine, we became very close because of music, and we started doing certain things. And at that time, we were doing Christian hip hop. So you can already imagine in South Africa, where I'm from, um, if you were doing hip hop, they would make fun of you, at that time. Like, oh, you think you're American? Hey, look at this rapper, you know. And you'd get a lot of flack from people unless you were doing it in some form of vernac, And I think around that time there was like artists like Squatter Camp, Double HP, so they were doing everything in vernacular, So it was a new edge, a new way of presenting music, you know, and combining those elements. But I didn't speak any vernacular. I didn't speak in any vernac. I didn't speak or spoke in English. And and then to make it even more intense, I'm writing about Christian concepts, and where am I going to perform these things? So I'm going to perform it in church, and in the very same church, people are saying, "Hey, what is this devil music?" So it was cognitive dissonance. People are seeing this one thing and then they're hearing this message coming through, but where is this coming from? Actually, this is the devil's music. I'm sure they said that about rock and roll as well at some point. But yeah, it was quite intense. And then also to make things even more intense for me was, the area that I was living, that I grew up, was the area that I was growing up was a colored community, which is majority Afrikaans. And so I grew up English. My parents were from KZN. A majority of people spoke English. And yes, I played with my friends and went to school and whatever. And in the school I went to, the whole school's Afrikaans, only my class is English, and my grade and every grade. But there's only like one class for the English class. Everything else was Afrikaans. So you can imagine now, in my own community, people treated me a bit differently because I spoke English, and so I had so many things that just seemed like, oh wow, this is just going against me, and but I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family like mine, where I was taught to be different. I was taught to embrace the difference. I was taught to be the sore thumb, and accept it. And that was the fortunate part, But it's not to say that it was easy going through those stages. So you can imagine. Now I want to do rapping. I'm doing Christian rap. I'm already a crazy dude in my community. I dress differently to most of the people here. I speak differently, and everything is just going this way, and I'm going that way, And nonetheless, me and my friend Gabriel, we went so many places. A birthday party, if we can get an opportunity to rap, a funeral, a wedding, a school event, anything, and we were just going all out, and day in, day out, busy writing. I'd be in school, busy writing rhymes, waiting for the bus, writing on the bus. As soon as I get home, it's 10 minutes, and before I know it, Gabriel's at my place, and we are in this thing. We got the TV remotes, hip hop playing in the background, and we were fully into it. And then now it's like 10, 11 in the evening, and now I'm gonna walk with him so he can get home. So I'd walk him halfway, I'd walk back, he'd go back, and we would do this every single day, every day. If we were not, and the amazing part about that was the fact that we not only grew as friends, we learned how to present our music. So the stage presence. We learned, actually learned about God. We learned about the Bible, because where are we going to get our material from? And the reason I actually got into that also, and it's a side note, and I'll probably need to talk about that next time or some other time. But just the gist about that was there were so many things that I started learning just by starting. Yeah, you could be so flippant scared being on the stage and thinking, well, who's gonna say what? And then you start realizing, hey, I can become someone completely different. I can take this energy, this whatever feelings I'm feeling, whatever's coming my way. People don't like me anyway because of the way I dress, and it's just maybe their own ignorance, and just taking on all those things and say, okay, well, I'm gonna create a character here, and that character is gonna be on the stage. So if they boo, they're not booing me, they're booing that guy, But if they love that guy, then I need to see, how do I become more like this guy, and you'll be so nervous and whatever. But the minute you step on that stage, the minute that beat starts, the bass hits you, you just come alive, and you just lacing them, and you're going in and you're feeling it, and sometimes there's like 2-3 people, sometimes there's like 100 people, whatever the case is, and it doesn't even matter. Why? Because you've been rehearsing this day in, day out. When you're standing in that living room, you've got that mic remote, and you're already picturing all these people responding to your music and flowing to it, and thinking, this is hectic, and the whole point for me was to say, okay, well, young people my age, we didn't want to go to church. We don't want to listen to the preacher talking for 2 hours. And I mean, when you go to the colored communities and the black communities, church service lasts the whole day almost. You go to a white person's church, 45 minutes, done and dusted, everybody's out, And so as a young person, you didn't want to be in those things for so long, because most of the time those concepts don't even make sense, So how do you get in front of the people? By meeting them where they're at. So if they're already listening to hip hop, they're already bouncing. Most of the time they don't even know the lyrics. It gets to the chorus, and that's the only part that they know, But if the beat is there, everything, so then what do I need to do? I need to start speaking this message in a format that they would receive. Why? Because it's something that I would want. So I want to listen to cool music, but I don't want to listen to all the cursing and killing and this and raping and this and I'll do this to you. And I want something that's going to build me up. So that's what I was looking for. So start with you. Start. And then as you start, things somehow just start showing you, okay, maybe the song shouldn't have a bridge. Maybe this flow goes better with that beat. Maybe we should do the first part a cappella. Maybe we should, whatever. These creative ideas will come, but it only comes once you're in step with what you're doing. It's like that proverb, the teacher will appear when the student is ready, and how do you know when you're ready? Well, you might not, so you got to get started, and as soon as you step into it, there the next thing appears, and you must know, back then there was no YouTube, there's no Google, there's nothing. I mean, if you want to be famous, you got to go to a record label and try and sell yourself there, and if you have no exposure, you don't know anybody in the industry, your parents also, they have no clue about this, where do I go? How do I? And you need that exposure. And at this point, in this day and age, we have got everything at our fingertips. Everything is right here. You're looking for something, you just literally go and Google it. Or you want to learn something, go onto YouTube. Whatever the case is, and it's more of an opportunity right now to actually get started. And the reason I'm talking about my kids is to say, okay, well, I need to expose them to certain things. I need to see, because you never know where their gifting will come from. You don't know where their talent is, so you start with the obvious ones first, because that's what's right there. Okay, this boy loves soccer. Let me get him involved in football. This one, my daughter loves music. She's an artist. Well, I need to expose her to these things. I need to. And as a father, I need to be present in their lives. And how am I going to be present in their lives? By meeting them where they are at. What are they looking for? What are their interests? And maybe you don't have kids. Maybe and hence I'm saying start with you. So you need to expose yourself to things and say, no, but I don't have the time for this. Hey, my life is so busy. I need to do this and that and that and that. Okay, but what can you do? What is the obvious thing? And let me tell you something. So during, when it was COVID, I think a lot of people actually learned a lot about themselves during that time, but anyway, I still remember there was a time where my mom had a lady come over to her place, and we were staying with her because of lockdown. And this lady had to come out and do measuring. She was doing some aluminium, or as the Americans say, aluminum, but putting these aluminium frames and all these things in. So she was coming to come and take measurements, whatever. And my mom had a conversation with her and said, okay, do you have anything that I can have a look at and see what you've got or what you've done and whatever? So she said, no, she's working on this website, but this guy is just really messed it up, and she's costing her so much back and forth and whatever. And I mean, at that time, my mother says to the lady, she's like, yeah, my son's actually quite good with computers. I'm sure he can do a website for you. And being good at computers, what part of the computer? Plugging it in, changing the hard drive, updating software. That's got nothing to do with web design. But anyway, it was during COVID, so you're not going anywhere. In fact, at that point, I also didn't have a job anymore. So anything was good, and so what did I do? I said, yeah, I can do it. Not knowing a single, don't even know where to start. Don't even know what platform. If there's different platforms, if there's only one, do I need to become, a developer? I had no clue. But like I'm saying, I mean, technology is there. You literally go onto YouTube. How do I design a website? What's the easiest, quickest way to design a website? What do I need? And so what did I do? I went straight onto YouTube, searched, and it took me such a long time, because now you're just soaking in different information and this and that, and then you get this overload, and you've got an idea and it feels a little bit better. Okay, I know now more or less, but then you don't start. So then you go and watch another video and another video and another video and another video, and now you're okay. And almost like it's hitting this thing inside your head where you think, okay, I know that this exists, I know that. But until you start, that's when you start finding out, oh, there's certain things I didn't even know. I didn't even know that I didn't know this. And you're trying to change a gradient, or you're trying to move an object, and you think there's CSS that I need to use, and you just have no clue, and the only way you're going to know is if you're going to expose yourself to these things. And I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened. Look, it took me a whole month to create this website. An entire month. I was like, and probably that could maybe take you a day or two to complete. But remember now, there's no AI at that point. Or if there was no ChatGPT. Or, so everything is, and that's also what I learned. People assume, okay, you're going to design the website, so you come up with everything. What about the copy? What about the words that need to come onto this website? How is those words going to line up with what you're selling? I don't know nothing about your industry. So I got to do market research. I got to literally write out the copy. I gotta find the images that's gonna match this. Where do I get the images? Are they royalty-free images? Am I allowed to? What happens if I put this up and someone wants to sue them? Where do I find these things? If I'm writing the content out, then you find out later, hey, this thing also needs to be searchable. People need to be finding this thing on Google. So I need to know a bit about Google Analytics. I need to know what is my target audience. I need to know keywords. I need to do keyword research before I even done the web design. The actual piecing the whole thing together. I gotta do so much more. I need to know, okay, if someone searches this in Google, it's gonna rank at that point, at this point, or whatever the case is. So the words I need to use, I have to incorporate that, plus tell the story on something I have no clue about. But I had to start. And the more I'm going, the more I'm realizing, I need to do this. Sometimes I had to change things all over. It felt like, oh gosh, I'm just failing at this thing, And late nights. And the only time I could do it is in the evening because I had kids, and now everybody's at home. You got to teach the child because they're not going to school. And I got to wait for everybody to fall asleep. And I'm also about to fall asleep. And now go onto the computer, put my headset on, and learn and practice as I'm learning and go ahead with it. And but I can tell you now something that happened when I was done with that website. I can't even tell you the amount of satisfaction I felt. I felt so good. I started this thing, I finished it, and I just loved the way it looked. I loved the way it was presented because I knew the effort that I put into it. I knew it took me so long just to write the hero section. Just the first part when you go onto the website, what you see. It took me so long getting the colors to match. There's so much to learn. There's the responsiveness of the website. How does it appear on a cell phone versus a laptop versus a desktop, a tablet, and making sure that everything is going to fit in. I'm sure you've been on a website where you just see everything is just going down like this, or it loads too long, so someone will just go to the next option. There's so much that I learned, and there was a small one, so it took a small step, and I had to actually put myself. My mother just threw me in the deep end. I accepted it, and I didn't know that it was something that I would actually be able to do because I was never exposed to that, never ever. And it's one of the most exciting times in my life, giving that thing over. And I've done quite a bit of things, and you don't know what you're good at. So you need to start with the obvious things. What am I interested in? If I love watching movies, what type of movies do I like? Maybe I can give my own commentary about these movies. I've watched so many of them that I can tell you already, this movie looks like it was directed by Tarantino, or this was, I like the way they introduced that shot, or whatever. So now you're more consciously aware. You're more intentional about what you're doing because you're looking for certain things. It's just like when I started writing music, I was intentional about sitting in those long, boring church services. Now I was interested. Now I had a different. Why? Because I want to hear everything this pastor's going to say, because I'm taking down notes, because I'm going to write something about what he's saying. So that's where I'm getting my material. He's talking about this scripture and that scripture and this and that. So what am I going to do in the week? I'm going to go to the Bible. I'm going to read this thing. I'm going to check it out in different versions. Why? Because I'm intentional. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for content to write about. And those things started just, coming together and also developing me as a person, as a byproduct. Thinking I'm just following music, but music was the thing that was just the carrot. God actually wanted me, but he met me where I was at. He put his word in front of me in a way that I would be able to digest it, you know. And you don't know what to start. Start with the obvious things. Look around. What am I interested in? What do I want to start? Why do I want to start? You know, and then the next thing that comes after that is, okay, now you might even get amped up and say, yes, like, yeah, I want to do this. I'm ready for this. I'm in it now. And then the minute you press record, now the stage fright comes. Now you don't know what to do. Now you're overthinking. No, but what if I do this? What if I post this and then I got, my friends, my family's gonna rip me apart because maybe I'm already still insecure about what I'm doing. You know, I'm designing this website. I don't want to tell anybody I'm designing a website. You're gonna look at it and say, yo, dude, and then I'm gonna allow their flipping thoughts and their contributions to affect me. I already don't know what I'm doing. I already know that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't need you to also tell me. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to build my own thing. And let me just stick to that, and designing the website, and that led to other things like digital marketing. And then thinking, okay, the web design is just one little part of the whole marketing experience. Because that's just there to give you credibility. Someone wants to say, okay, where's your business? Whatever. It's just like what happened. My mother asked me, where can I see your stuff? Where can I? No, there's not even a website. How much money are you leaving on the table if you don't even have a website? In this day and age. Back in the day, you needed a business card. You never have a business card. Like, hey, who are you? So that website is just your business card. It's just giving you the credibility, the legitimacy. Yeah. But it's not going to pull people through that door. That's just your storefront. That's just your shop. How do people know your shop is there? Why would they even want to come to your shop if there's 30,000 shops like yours? And that's where the marketing aspect comes in. And something about marketing, they'll tell you that you need to create an avatar. You need to form what your ideal client would look like. So even physically, cut out a picture. This is the male version, this is the female version, this is their age, this is where they live, this is the stuff they enjoy doing, and it makes it easier for you to say, okay, this is my target audience. So when I'm writing content, it's going to appeal to those people. But I also appeal to these people. But I'm selling the same product, but I need to appeal to them and meet them where they are at. Right, so I need to put myself in front of them in a way that is relevant to them. But now if I don't even know who my target audience is, then start with you. Start with you. What do you enjoy doing? What do you like doing, man? Like, where do you like going? What is the stuff that you wish somebody would create? I was there's this app called Wattpad, right? It's like for writers. You want to become an author or whatever, but you don't know nothing about nothing. And I was listening to this thing on YouTube, and that's where I got to find out about Wattpad. And this lady was saying she was in school and she was a ferocious reader, and she said something about the fact that, hey, all the books that she was reading was just about vampires at that time, and she wanted to just change. She wanted something fresh, something different, and there was nothing out there. And she was talking to another girl at the school and said, oh no, why don't you check out this thing? Why don't you write the story that you want? She's like, yeah, but I can't, whatever. And she's introduced her to Wattpad. I go onto Wattpad, you could literally start writing whatever, and you've got people that will critique your things, other people. You're writing a story, they can be involved in the story. Okay, guys, I don't know what should chapter 2 look like? This is my ideas. People will say and whatever, and it's such an amazing platform. So maybe if you're interested in writing a book or or getting some new content to write about or whatever, go have a look, check it out. But nonetheless, um, what I got out of that was, well, if something like that doesn't exist, maybe it does, but you're just not aware of it. But something like that doesn't exist to you, let's say. Why don't you start? Why don't you do it? You're already consuming the books. I mean, most of the day, you're already involved with books. You're reading books. You see different styles. You start picking up. Oh, this is Hemingway. Hemingway. Oh, Heming. Yeah, I can't even remember now. But I mean, you're gonna start picking up. Okay, no, this is a style of writing I like. This is how. And guess what? When you're going to expose yourself to that, you're gonna be more intentional now. Reading the book, not as a reader, but as an author. You know, you're going to expose yourself to it because now it's opening ideas. I like the way they take this concept to that concept. I like how they tie this with this. I like the fact that they start from the back of the book. I like they start with the end of the story. I like the fact that they leave you in suspense all the way until the end, and then you're still left in suspense at the end. You know, there's so many things that you could go around and say, okay, well, this, that. But now you're already reading. Maybe I could sell the books. Maybe I could rewrite some books. Maybe I could make an audio version of the book. Maybe I could introduce other people to this book. Whatever. You know, what's your interest? You need to start with you. Start with you. So when you start with you, you start seeing your interests. Okay, this is what I'm going to start doing. And just start. Just start. I mean, let me tell you something. Another example. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with forex trading, day trading. You know, but I remember when every time I heard about forex trading, I was like, gosh, what a scam. These people are also so dizzy just to get scammed like this. How can this guy just make 100,000 rand just like this in less than an hour? No ways. And people are buying courses and this and that and thinking this is the biggest scam. So every time I hear that, because why? My world has never been exposed to the opportunities that somebody else may have had. I wasn't exposed to it. So now I need to expose myself to certain things. Because you might not even know that you could at certain things. You might not even know that you might be the next Ronaldo. You don't know. So you have to expose yourself to as many things. So just like you would expose your children, you maybe never had the opportunity. Your parents didn't know. But this is your opportunity to expose yourself. Start with you. You become your target audience. What do you like? And start getting involved with things that you like doing. So that because it's much easier to talk about these things. It's much easier to get involved. It's much easier to be more consciously aware of, okay, so if I'm consuming YouTube all the time and I enjoy making content, whatever, then let me start there. I got something to share. I don't know where to start. Well, just press record, start. You know, coming back to the forex thing. So, long story short, one of my friends was doing it and he got scammed. Oh, gosh, shame, man. He had somebody else trading for him and the guy just took his money and kicked it, you know. But that was another thing, like telling me that's a scam. But there's a book that I read, you know, called The Richest Man in Babylon. You know, and the concept that they spoke about in this book was basically how you're going to give your money to someone that doesn't know what they're doing. You know, I mean, if I say, okay, I've got money to invest in a business, for example, and let's say these merchant ships are going over crossing the Mediterranean, they're going into Egypt, and they're gonna go and get gold and silver and whatever, right? And bring it over, and then these guys will sell it this way. So you think, okay, great, this sailor You know, he told me that this is what they're bringing across here. But if you've got some money, we could possibly make some money, you know. And now he goes across and, but what does the sailor know about selling gold? He knows about his ship. He knows how to get that ship across. But does he know enough about whether that's fake gold, it's real gold, it's the value, how's it calculated? Who's actually gonna buy it? Maybe the people I'm gonna take it to, yes, it's gold and it's great, but these people, they can't afford that stuff. You know, so now you end up losing money. But you started, great. But now you need to be consciously involved in what you're doing. And the quickest way is to start with things or people or places that are already experts in that field. They're already a step ahead. They're already doing what you want to do. So that's gonna save you a lot of time of I'm giving my money to someone else. And me myself, I already don't know what it's about. I just heard this idea from this guy that has a half idea of how it works. It seems simple, but he's not actually in it. He's not actually involved in it. You know, and so the best thing is to get your own research. Do your own research, you know, and yeah, and get involved with your own stuff, you know, and that led me to, okay, well, this friend of mine got scammed by this forex thing. And I was talking to my daughter, and she's like, "Yeah, Daddy, why did you do forex?" I'm like, "Suya winner." You know, like, I'm not gonna do that stuff. I'm gonna throw my money down the drain. And that very day, that very night, I was driving and I was looking for some music to play on YouTube in the car, and then this thing popped up on forex, and it was this guy called Mamba FX, and very young guy, very flamboyant, you know, and nonetheless, I heard him talking about this thing, so I just let it play, you know, since I was already talking about this, and I also met another friend of mine that was also into forex. So I thought, okay, let me just listen to this thing, you know, listen, blah blah blah, and whatever. And as I was listening to everything, I was thinking, okay, then they were busy talking about different, what do you call this? Different applications, different apps that you can download on your phone, and I kept on seeing the screen that they keep on showing and whatever. So then I went on to another video and another video. Then I came across, okay, this is MetaTrader, this is TradingView, and guess what? I started consuming and not knowing nothing about nothing. Still nothing. It's like, again, consuming all this information, but you have no idea what's actually, it feels like you're learning, and great, you're probably exposing yourself, but you need to start doing now, you know, actually go and download the application, actually start there, download the app, see what it's about. And some random day I'm like, okay, download this app. I mean, that's the simple step, that's the small step that you need to take. Just start. You're not a trader yet, you got nothing to lose. If you don't like this thing, you delete the app. And sometimes that's, you see, those small steps. And so anyway, downloaded, and with MetaTrader, it comes, you know, I didn't even know that you needed a broker and all these other things. But anyway, they give you $100,000 to start off with as a demo. I'm busy just buy, sell. I have no clue what's going on. And then I start seeing all these indicators and things. I have no idea. It just seems like, something that an astronaut needs to look at, you know. And then getting into more videos, and now it started opening. How do you use MetaTrader? See, now it's opening an interest. Hey, go and check. Okay, why do I need TradingView? Okay, I'm charting, I'm doing this, but now how do I actually get involved into forex? How do I actually make money out of this thing? Hey, you need to connect to a broker. What is a broker? Why do I need the broker? Why can't I? And all these things start coming together. And then realizing, hey, but this is not a scam. It's people that are scamming people because the markets are there. You're still going to have the US dollar trading against the Japanese yen. You're still going to have it. So the markets have always been there, but the people selling the stuff to the ignorant people are making a killing off of their ignorance. And just like in that book, how are you gonna put your money into something that you don't have any clue? That's a very silly mistake. So get the knowledge, start there, and you expose yourself to the stuff, you get into it. And if you don't have the time, then you at least need to find the time to research, to find the people that do. But you can't just give it to anyone that just says, no, I'm a whatever. And how you're gonna have to expose yourself to these things. So you need to just start. And at the end of the day, you got nothing to lose. If you don't like something, then leave it. Jump onto the next thing. There's almost no point in how you want to criticize this thing because it never worked out for you. Maybe you didn't do enough research. Maybe you didn't take enough steps. Maybe you got stuck. Maybe you got started and then there was a bit of a blockage and then you left it and you said, oh, no, this, that. Great, no problem. But maybe if you just stuck it through a little bit longer, you'd realize why majority of people also fall off the rails when it gets to that, because it's human experience. It's a human nature to seek the easiest route. So sometimes you just need to expose yourself and stick it through, because guess what, when that 1 month is over, you've designed the website from knowing nothing, check, nothing, and in this day and age, there's no reason why we shouldn't be exposing ourselves to things, so I thought to myself, I love creating content. I enjoy it. I've got a TikTok channel, a page, or whatever you want to call it, and I just post certain things that I like, or I like talking about, or I feel that I wish someone was talking to me about those things, and I need someone that I can relate to. And if there's younger people, older people, whatever, that can relate to my story, then I'd be robbing them from an opportunity to get to where they want to go. Just like Ronaldo, if he was working as an admin clerk in the local bank and not the professional footballer that he is, So who are you robbing? Besides yourself, who are you robbing by not getting started? And how do I get started? Well, just get started. Do a little bit of research, maybe 1 or 2 videos, and start. Because from there, the rest of your questions will come, and that's how you learn to improve. And that's why I just thought, okay, well, let me just make this video. Let me get started. Let me say, okay, this is where I'm at. And I invite you to go on this journey with me. And put in the comments below. Put what your journey is, where you'd like to go, I want to get the feedback, guys. I need the feedback, and I appreciate it. And tell me where you could help me. Give me ideas. Put in the comments. Share this thing with someone that that needs to hear something like this. You might say, okay, but how do I start if I have nothing? Well, go and research it. There's books, there's podcasts, there's audiobooks, there's YouTube, there's so many things. Google, man, there's no reason for us to actually be stuck in the same place, and maybe this video is the exposure that you needed to hear, to say, well, I didn't think of things that way. I need to expose myself to as many things, but now I don't have the time. So now it opens another thing, time management. Okay, what do I know about time management besides just the obvious? Oh, how are other people more successful in managing their time than others? Well, let me go and check something up on time management. Let me go and see, okay, there's Cal Newport. You go and check his book out. You know, deep work. Um, there's the 4 Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss. You know, I mean, there's different books, and bear in mind, I was a dude that really didn't actually enjoy reading until I realized the stuff that I was made to read, that was given to me. It's not that I don't like reading, it's just that I don't like reading those topics. I have no interest. So I need to meet people where they're at. If you are interested in knitting and I'm giving you a book on physics, man, bro, you're gonna hate reading. You're just gonna take the whole experience as just, I'm not a good reader. I'm not. So find the stuff that you're interested in. I'm telling you, you'll read that thing throughout the day, throughout the night. Someone won't be able. They won't be able to even take it away from you. And if reading is a challenge, then get an audiobook instead of listening to music the whole time. Put that audiobook in, listen to it, because it's something that you want to know about, you want to learn, it's something that you're interested in. So while you're going about your day, the main thing is just to consume the knowledge. And the nice thing is with audiobooks, you can speeden up the speed, you know. So maybe the book looks like it's gonna take 4 hours. You could finish that book in maybe 3 hours, 2 hours, you know. And I mean, they say the average CEO reads about 50 to 52 books a year. That's like a book a week, you know. And that's one way of getting some of that information in. And remember now, you're just educating yourself, you know, you're exposing yourself. But now if you think, hey, I'm giving myself 6 months to do this, because I don't have time. I'm getting older. I don't have time to be just chopping and changing and expose myself to this and that and that. Then manage your time. Manage your time. Say, what do I need to do? Just make it part of your life so that it becomes a habit, you know. And before you know it, you've actually changed the trajectory of your life. You've actually gotten so deep into something that you know, if someone that hasn't seen you in a while comes back to you, they think, who is this dude? You know, like, huh? This guy's busy talking about whatever. You know, he's talking about politics, for example. He's talking about what's happening in North Korea, what's happening in different parts of the world. How's all these geopolitical things having an impact on yourself, in the country that you live in, you know, whatever the case is, whatever your interests may be, you know. So I think the main thing is stop overthinking. Stop overthinking. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, oh, is this, the lighting looks bad? Let's see if it looks better like that. I don't know. But you're gonna say, okay, my background, my this, hey, I'm not dressed. Just be yourself. You know, I mean, start with you. You are your target audience. What would you like to see? I want to see a dude that is just real as me and talking about the same things that I'm interested in, and opening my mind up to certain things. You know, so it's just a matter of getting started. Just start. And start with you. Start with you. You are the target audience. You are the avatar. You. What do you like? What don't you like? And you become more aware of yourself, actually. You know, and you get to know yourself. And how much better is it that even if there's no one there, you're in good company? You know, because you're so interesting. You're so interesting. And I mean, that's the best thing in a relationship is to keep it interesting. You know, and you're gonna find so many things about yourself, which maybe I'll even talk about on this channel. You know, but you'll find so many things about yourself. And how do I find them? Oh, okay. Who am I actually? And that's if you're going into the metaphysical part of things. You know, but you might think, okay, why do I think my behavioral science? You know, I mean, there's a website called 16personalities.com. Amazing. You have to go and check it out. You have to do the thing. Um, it's not like a typical psychometric evaluation or whatever. Do it. It's going to show you a lot of insights. Maybe take you maybe 10, 15, maybe 30 minutes to complete the thing. But you're going to start seeing, okay, this is actually why I like doing this and I don't like doing this. I would actually be better suited in this role than that role. And this is extensive research that has been done. And sometimes people are like, research, but you can't even do the research just to sit and listen to the video. But now people have, with their PhDs, and that's all that they're focused on. So they've done the work for you. You just need to listen to what they have to say, and then you can make up your own mind from there. But don't just write it with, anybody can do research and whatever. It takes work. It takes work. It takes effort. It takes interest, And so, yeah, go and have a look at that website. Go see what it's about. I encourage you to go and check it out. I'll also put it in the link below. But there's so many starting points. You get to know yourself. You get to know what you like. Why? Because you're intentional about that. You're intentional about studying you. Like if this was an experiment and you were the lab rat and you think, okay, I've got so many external exposure things that may impact me from, maybe if I give this mouse, this rat, piece of cheese that has got lactose versus one that's got no lactose. I don't know if that's even possible, but or whatever the case is, if I expose it to certain gases, how does this thing react? And you're observing, you're watching, you're trying to see what's going to happen. You're putting the stimuli there, and you're trying to observe. You're intentional. You want to see. You don't know the answer, so that's why you're doing the experiment. So you are the living experiment and the living proof that things can change. But you have to take the tiny step, and you just have to start with you. So please give me your feedback. Tell me what has impacted you. What was your journey like, if you started, or if you've taken anything from this. Let me know what was the best part. Help me out, because I'm trying to get started, just like how I'm encouraging you to do. But yeah, I think it's been a minute or an hour. And I appreciate if you've listened to this from all the way up. I really appreciate it. But I'm really even more looking forward to your feedback. So please comment, like the video if you liked the video. Like it somewhere now. Go and press like, subscribe to the channel. You'll probably be one of those, those people that will hopefully will stay with me for at least, let's say, the next 6 months. And let's see what this turns into if we just start. And maybe make a pledge to say, okay, this dude has just started. Jono, you've just started with this thing. You've put yourself out there, whatever. So I'm also going to challenge myself and start with my thing. And I'm going to follow, and I'm going to expose myself, and I'm going to do this. And we'll talk about these things. And let's see what happens. Let's see. It's an experiment, right? So, yeah. Start. Download the app. Go to the class. Just listen to the audiobook. Speak to the person you need to speak to. Just start. You don't know the answers. And that's fine. It's expected you won't know the answers, because you're not the oracle here, So it's fun. It's interesting. It's life. It's living, and you are the proof. So yeah, get started. Yeah, but that's just me. And on that note, peace out, yo.